All right, good morning. I see that there's lots of questions in the chat anymore. Of course, there would be with all of the changes in the new stimulus bill and with many of us approaching our benefit year. I do read the comments from my members. They get a special post. So I try and do those first. And there are a few of those this morning. And then I will probably jump in the chat, start answering questions from 11 o'clock onward. But let's get right into it before I get any more behind. David Rodriguez wants to know, is the unemployment boost taxable? Yes, the $300 extra that we're getting right now and the $300 in the new stimulus bill, that would both be taxable. The EDD is not able to withhold taxes, so we're going to owe on that. Or not necessarily owe, but our refund would be decreased. Okay, the FXMX says, in January, my PEUC claim balance went to 0 and I was put on PEUC-X. I certified for week 1, then certified for week 2, though I had no money. That second week, the last certification of my old PEUC before the new one kicked in was not paid and shows as such in my claim history. I've heard this is standard, while others say I could call and get that in between week paid. Yes, call to get that paid. That is what my advice would be on that. Fonzie says, I wanted to ask if you know what the current unemployment rate is in California as of March 2021, because he'll be going on Fed Ed soon. I know Fed Ed will cease if the unemployment goes under 6.5 for 4 consecutive weeks. They've been looking for a job. So I don't know the current unemployment rate right now. It is still high enough that Fed Ed is in effect right now. And Barbara wants to know, I'm cautiously positive that the new bill will pass because the new stimulus bill has not actually fully passed yet. There was a version that was passed in the House, and then the Senate voted and they passed it, but with amendments and changes. So now it has to go back to the House to be voted on, and then the president has to sign it into law. So we're still maybe a day or so away from that happening. Maybe it won't happen until the end of the week. So she goes on to say, in terms of the EDD, I'm very cautious that I will be approved for another claim year. I'm hoping for the best, but preparing for other. Do you think I will be eligible for the federal extension if I'm not approved for a new EDD claim? And yes, the applying for a new claim or reapplying or opening a new claim, it's really just a formality. So if you don't qualify for a whole new claim, that's when the extensions should kick in. And we're going to talk a lot, I'm sure, about the reapplying. Do you really have to? Things like that. It does seem like some Fed Ed claims are not being made to reapply, that they're able to keep getting paid. I already saw Andrew's comment that his benefit year is ending. Mine is too. Some people are being allowed to certify past their benefit year. And if you call the EDD, they might tell you, oh, you don't need to file a new claim. You don't need to reapply. And that is and isn't true. What's happening when they tell you that is they're able to see from what's in their computer history or by asking you questions that you won't qualify for a new claim. And so then they're saying, oh, you don't have to reapply, but you're either going to need to reapply or call them. And I do recommend calling because that's faster once you get through. Okay. Sorry, there are a few more member questions. Okay. Johnny says, I have a couple questions. I've just certified for my last balance of EDD. My year ends 3/22. I'm on two. Should I file a new claim or just wait it out? So again, his benefit year doesn't end until 3/22. So I would certify all the way through 3/22, and then I would call the EDD. Okay, so that's what I would do on that. Karen says, I'm really wondering how to handle this tax situation. Karen already filed her taxes. So in the new stimulus bill, if it passes in the House, that gives tax forgiveness on the first $10,200 of unemployment benefits. And what's going to happen if you already filed your taxes? It's my understanding that you're going to need to file an amendment. And I don't know how to do that yet, but I will find out and I will make a video on that for you guys. Richmond says he finally got paid. That is great. King Dante says, my girlfriend's account closed after only having the card 2 weeks. So you're going to want to call the Bank of America about that. And then Lisa, this is the last one from this. I rushed through them in 5 minutes. Lisa says, she's looking for resources for valid permanent remote work. So and she's taking a class to improve her typing skills. So it's like a weird makeup. So I will be on the lookout for remote work opportunities. I don't know of any offhand. All I see are like those scams. So yeah. Okay, hang on, you guys. I'm going to take a drink of water if you guys could like the video, and then I'm going to get into questions. I'm going to start at 11. Okay, let's see here. Oh, good, Karen. Thank you. Good to see you. Good to see you guys, everyone. Hope everybody's having a good Sunday. I see Ben in here. Ben is saying don't certify at midnight. That's probably good advice. Okay, I'm going to start at 10:59 with Andrew's question. So if you asked your question before that, go ahead and just pop it in the chat one more time, but please don't ask multiple times, more than twice. But if you posted your question before 11 a.m. and you're still here, go ahead and post it again. Andrew says, his benefit year ends on 3/15, yet it asks him to certify again on 3/21. So this means that the second week when I certify will be pending. I still have a balance left after 3/15, and my benefit year ends 3/15. So a lot of people have claim balances. The guidance from the DOL, the Department of Labor, says that at our claim year end, they're supposed to make us file a new claim. But if you're getting paid on your old claim with no problem, certify for those days and see what happens. I think a lot of us are going to kind of have to see what happens after we certify next week. It's very possible that that second week will be pending. And then if that happens, call the EDD. And they may say you don't need to reapply, but that may be because they can just look and see you're not going to qualify. So they kind of are able to bypass that step. Mystic River says they're telling us to wait a few days to certify when I talk to a rep. So this is telling us that we are waiting for some unknown time. Wait a few days to certify. I'm not sure why that would be. John Francis says, can you please tell me what will happen if the claimant of unemployment went out of the country for vacation? So technically, if you're not able to accept full-time work, you're not supposed to get unemployment benefits. However, like I've said before, sometimes like if you do have remote work, you could do that from being on vacation. You just need to answer honestly if you were able to accept work or not those weeks. But if you weren't able to accept work, then really you're not supposed to get the unemployment benefits. Jillian says, I tried certifying at midnight and the site wouldn't even let me complete it. Ever seen this? So many people trying to certify is crashing the site. It's annoying. And now I just certified Sunday in the morning. Yeah. And like Ben says, a lot of people wait up on Sunday to certify right at midnight. And then inevitably that seems to cause problems. And my claim actually got a little hung up today. Like the next question didn't load and I had to like refresh the page so that I could hit no so that it would take me on to the next section. Salome says, good morning. Good morning. And Rasar says, I was researching on new benefit year. No matter what, we will all have something. Yes, that's correct. I wish EDD didn't make this a requirement for the time, as many will be devastated if cut off from unemployment. Yeah, but like you just said, even if you don't qualify for a new claim, that's when they should roll you into the extension. Most people should not be getting cut off. And Karen, thank you for the donation. Karen says I'm cheaper than a therapist. I think there's like really for low cost online counseling. I feel like we're going to need it after dealing with the EDD. Skinny Millie, dang it. I see it as Miley, but it's Millie. Skinny Millie, dang it. Okay, says she spelled it out for me. I am doing great. And one day I'm going to get your name right off the bat. And I have someone else's name written down phonetically, how I'm supposed to say it. This is the worst. Pastor Glenn says, thank you for being nice to me about it, though. Received a notice regarding PUA extensions this morning. Currently on FedEd. California claim year ends March 22nd. FedEd expires May. What should I do? So wait until you certify after March 22nd. A lot of people are saying that the FedEd claims are able to certify and get paid without calling or reapplying. So if that's the case and you're getting paid with no problem, go ahead and keep certifying. But the second one of yours weeks gets stuck on pending for more than 72 hours, that's when you're going to want to call right away. And you shouldn't be getting the PUA extension message if you're on FedEd. Okay, Vanessa says, the benefit year is ending soon on 3/15. Worried if I will be denied a new benefit year. I've seen folks mention that zero benefits will just, yes. I have seen that zero benefit award letter means that they'll just continue on PEUC. That is correct. So really, really just applying for a new claim is just a formality. It's being denied a new claim, or for the rep, if you call, and I do recommend calling in this case if you can. I know it's going to be a lot of us calling at the same time, but the reps can look and see if you qualify for a new claim right away. And if you don't, then they're able to just roll you right into the new or to an extension. So you really need that denial or a rep saying, no, you're not going to qualify for a new claim to be kept into the extensions. So, but yeah, there's going to be something for you, even if you don't qualify for a whole new claim. Freddie says, I'm on PUA. Do I have to reapply in March? No, PUA is exempt from that apply for a new claim rule because PUA didn't really exist before the whole pandemic. So that's all going to be federally funded anyway. There's no chance of your benefit amount being paid from the state's budget. So they're not going to make you guys reapply. If you have a PUA claim, even if your benefit year ends, you do not need to reapply. Jane says, I'm still waiting for my PEUC extension, already 30 days. Jane, please contact your assembly member, and there should be a link in the video description on how to find them. They can often help. Ben, Ben is saying don't certify at midnight. Freddie says everybody starts saving because I'm sure this is our last round of extensions. You know, Freddie, I'm not sure about that. Back in the other Great Recession, they did unemployment for 99 weeks. And so when there's a precedent, I think that there's a better chance that they'll extend it again. So I think they might extend benefits, but I wouldn't be surprised if it did not include a boost. And I mean, who knows, because it's these politicians, and I would have never thought that they would have waited this long to get things moving either. It's warm in here. My glasses are fogging up. Will says, I've used all my FedEd and should have been able to start certifying for PUA this week, but I'm still not able to certify. What do you think I should do? You're going to need to call them, because a lot of times if you've used all of your FedEd, you should actually have the second PEUC extension. It shouldn't be PUA, but call, because you're probably also at the end of your benefit year and they're going to want to see if you qualify for a new claim first. Okay, Joshua says, if this stimulus passes, will there be another one after, or will unemployment stop in September? I mean, it's too soon to tell. I will say that history often repeats itself, and that back in 2008, 2009, it lasted a total of 99 weeks. So I would say that there's precedent for it to last at least 99 weeks. I think that's a good sign. I don't think the economy will fully be back in September. So I tend to think that something else will pass, but I have no idea. Joshua says, I just read Joshua's, sorry. Giovanni says, what happens if I made a mistake when I certified this morning by putting a wrong zip code? I would try and call them and get that fixed. That is probably going to cause you to be pending. Ramon says, I'm on FedEd and my benefit year ends March 13th. I haven't worked since March 16th. When I file a new claim and don't qualify, will I be able to continue my FedEd extension? Yes, and some people on FedEd are actually being allowed to certify without and get paid without opening a new claim. So if you're already on FedEd, I think what I'd recommend is continue to certify and get paid until you get stuck on pending. And that's when you call. Even though technically you have to reapply, calling's going to be faster. And the rep's going to say, oh, you don't have to reapply, but that's because whatever questions they've asked you, tell them you're not going to qualify. So then they're able to keep you on the extension, but you may have to call them again in 3 months. Like every quarter, they want to check if you have enough wages or if you've had any work that might qualify you for a regular claim. But calling is still going to be faster. Freddie's saying unemployment ends in September. It hasn't even been extended officially till September yet, but it probably will be. It might go past that. Emily says, thank you that I look pretty today. You helped with your niece's claim by guiding you with what might be wrong with her ID and being on pending review for 6 weeks. You're very welcome, and I hope that you get paid sooner, that she gets paid soon. Sugar Sprinkles says that's not always true. About certifying at midnight. I do tend to see people have trouble when they certify right at midnight. And I don't know why that is. I don't know if just a lot of people are staying up till midnight. Normally I haven't even certified by this time today. Normally I certify after the lives, but today they said that there were going to be changes to the certification questions, and there weren't. There's like a little question mark that you can push, and it only works on a desktop, and it just gives you a little bit more guidance on how you should answer the questions. Freddie says, can I apply for UI after the end of my PUA in September? So not unless you've had traditional W-2 wages would you be able to come off of PUA. Benjamin says, they will add money and extend the date. I'm on PUA. That is what they're talking about in the new stimulus bill, is they are talking about extending unemployment benefits. The official language is September 6th, but since our benefit week ends September 4th, it's really only going to carry us till September 4th. And then we'd certify either September 5th or the following week. But yes, they should be reevaluating all of that, but it needs to be signed into law. And I saw someone in the comments probably before 11 a.m. comment, even once this passes, doesn't the Department of Labor, still need to look at it and give guidance to all the unemployment offices like the EDD on how to actually implement it, and things like, are they really going to make everybody reapply or file a new claim? And so, yeah, even after this passes, the Department of Labor is going to need to look at how to actually implement all of this. That could take about another week, but that will still hopefully be done before March 14th when this one starts to phase out. Pauline says, I thought the third stimulus passed. It is likely to pass, but it has not actually passed. So it passed the House. Then it went to the Senate. The Senate passed it, but with amendments. So they made changes. For example, it was going to be $400 a week boost in the original one that the House passed. But the one that passed the Senate is only going to include a $300 a week boost. So now it's going back to the House with the amendments. They have to vote on it again. And if it passes there, which it's expected to, then the president would sign it into law. Then the Department of Labor is going to look into how to actually implement it, give instructions to the unemployment offices, and then they'll start updating the computer system. Carla says, my claim says extension. Do I have to reopen a claim? My date is weird. It says April 2020. So not until April of 2020 do you even need to start thinking about that. And then it's possible that the language in the new stimulus bill would waive that. I don't think it's going to, from what I've seen. So you're just going to want to call after your very last week of unemployment benefits. Freddie says, Freddie, I think Sugar's talking about the EDD website being overwhelmed at midnight. Like sometimes it has problems, sometimes it doesn't, but maybe I'm mistaken on that. Raphael says, my extension is now in its last week. Now what? So see if you can certify. If it gets stuck, call. Let's also talk about that. So when you're about 2 weeks out from your benefit year ending, that's when you log on online, and it's going to start giving you the language about if you have a PUA claim, don't file a new claim. Then it's going to give you an option to apply for a new claim. Then it's going to give you an option to manage existing claim. I am told that you can actually apply for a new claim early before your benefit year has expired. I'm not going to do that. And you guys know that my advice is, instead of pushing the apply for new claim button, to go ahead and call them and say, hey, my benefit year is ending. Do I qualify for a new claim? Can you just keep me on the extension? So you're going to start to see the apply for a new claim button or like option there for you after you click like UI online and log in. So you guys are going to start to see that. Let's see here. I don't know what my height is in millimeters. I'm short. I'm 5'5". I still can't activate my EDD debit card. So Bree, call the Bank of America. There should be a number on the back of that debit card. That's what you're going to need to call. Salome says, good morning. I reopened my unemployment claim February 13th. Now they say your account is still under review. So again, you're going to want to call them about that, and you're going to want to enlist the help of your assembly member to see if they can speed that along for you. February 13th, that's not that long ago. Here's another reason why I'm recommending calling at the end of your benefit year. When you do hit the apply for new claim button, it's like applying for a whole new claim, and that can take like 3 weeks. Then if you're waiting to get denied, you would get that $0 benefit letter. Then they would need to reinstate the extension on your existing claim. And it's going to take more time to get all of that process going than it is to call. There are some times where you're going to call and they will still make you apply for a new claim. And that's going to be if you've had some work since you first filed your unemployment benefits. But I still recommend calling. Okay. Rita says, my claim expires in October, but the balance will run out sooner. Do they renew it or do I have to call them? So October won't even, like, we don't know if the unemployment benefits will be extended till October. So normally, like normally they only load your claim up with 26 weeks of benefits to use. And a year is 52 weeks. So in a normal non-pandemic situation, the most you could get out of 1 year would be 26 weeks of unemployment benefits. So usually in a normal year, most people run out of money that they can collect way earlier than their benefit year ends. But because of the pandemic, they keep doing the extensions. So right now, if your claim runs out of money, well, technically the new stimulus bill hasn't passed. So technically, if the claim ran out of money now, they would put you onto one of the existing extensions, which phase out through the week ending April 10th. And now you're waiting for that new stimulus bill to pass, and then they would load more extension money onto your account. I hope that made sense. Okay. Freddie says it needs to get signed by Biden by Tuesday. So it's not concrete. And, I'm not sure if he'll do that by Tuesday. I do expect that it'll be voted on in the House pretty quickly. It's possible that they could put it on Biden's desk Monday if it passes quickly in the House. It's possible that Biden will be traveling on Tuesday and there's not a way to get him the bill to sign. I don't know. I don't know how these things work. It's possible that there will be a hiccup in the House and that they won't have completed their voting on this by Monday evening, and then he wouldn't get on Tuesday. So we don't know for sure it's Tuesday, but we do know for sure he hasn't signed it yet. And we are hoping by Tuesday, but we don't know for sure. Lonnie says, I just logged on and it's giving me a chance to file for PUA, but I believe I have UI. I also got a message saying able to get PEUC, but wasn't sure if I should file a new claim. So one, I would also wait until your benefit year is over, and then I would call them. It's not actually saying that you qualify for PUA. I know it's really confusing, but it's actually 3 different sections. And the first part is actually just a warning saying, hey, like if you have PUA, don't do this. And then the second part is for filing a new claim, which you could do, but that's going to take more time than calling all because if you do qualify, it's going to take 3 weeks to get you on. If you don't qualify, you're going to need to get the denial letter and then rolled on to the extensions. So by calling, you can kind of bypass reapplying, so to speak. So I would call them once your benefit year is totally over. Mohammed says, thank you for everything. You're very welcome. Will 300 have state unemployment money too? So it should be like your weekly benefit amount plus $300. I think that's what you're asking. So you'll get your weekly benefit amount plus $300 extra on top of your weekly benefit amount. Emily says, my nephew asked for retroactive pay, but EDD denied it, but wanted to do a phone interview with him to discuss. Do you know what the call is all about? So those phone determinations are different for everybody depending on the reason. So they might ask him, why did you wait so long to apply? What's going on with why did you leave your other job? Or why are you not able to continue working if you were self-employed? If it asks you due to lack of childcare, they may still say, well, are you able to accept full-time work? So could be a lot of different things that they actually need to ask about. Usually it's about previous employment or how you answer the certification questions. So he'll just need to answer whatever is truthful for him on that. Uh-oh, the comments just jumped. Oh, good morning, Chris. Sorry. While I scroll back up to the comments, if you guys could take a minute and like the video, I would really appreciate it. Oh dear, where was I? Oh, and Emily, thank you for the donation. I'm just now seeing that. Skinny Millie gave me some hearts and teddy bears, and I got it right. All right, but I had to think about it. Oh, Heidi's in the chat. Good morning, Heidi. And Mike D gave me a donation and said that Jenny and Shelly rock. Jenny and Shelly just did another collaboration. It's up on her channel. I would love it if you guys could check that out. Okay. Okay. I'm on to Bree Lane's question. Oh, nope, we did that. Still can activate the EDD card. So you got to call the Bank of America about that. And if you're not getting paid, you can call the EDD and ask them to switch you to checks just so that you're able to get some money while they're sorting out the frozen EDD debit card. Freddie said that he waited to do his taxes like I predicted. And it's funny because I still haven't done my taxes, but all the papers and things were saying, oh no, that 10,200 tax forgiveness, it's not in the bill. It's very unlikely that it'll pass. There's no reason to wait to do your taxes. And then now it looks like there is a reason to wait to do taxes. And Karen says, I'm doing great. I hope you're doing great. Amit says, my payment is pending. My phone interview on this Wednesday between 10 a.m. to 12. Yeah, so hopefully after your phone interview, they'll be able to take that off and you'll get paid. Hopefully. Michael says, I'm on extension 2. However, my balance run is out next time I certify. My benefit year doesn't end until June. What happens then? Okay, so Michael, that's why we're hoping that new stimulus bill passes because next week, so you're either on the second PEUC extension or you could be on a PUA claim. And a lot of people actually will run out of benefits March 13th that we certify for on March 13th that we certify for on March 14th. And that's why we're hoping that the new stimulus bill passes and passes quickly so that there aren't gaps in our payments. Okay, Andy says, what is the new bill for Fed Ed? My benefit year was over in January and they tried to open a new account, but it did not qualify. Okay, so Andy, for you, you should be able to continue to draw down all the weeks of FedEd that you have left. FedEd is not tied in to this stimulus bill. So you're going to draw down your claim balance on FedEd since you did not qualify for a new claim. Then after that, they should be putting you on to the extensions that we hope will pass in the new stimulus bill. Amy says, did my taxes on the 12th? Is that going to affect it? It might. So you might want to file an amended tax return. Susan says, but it hasn't passed yet. So we got to wait for it to actually pass before you can file the amended return. Susan says, got a message this morning. I wasn't able to certify was on PUA. I have to wait for them to update. I'm on PEUC. Do I reapply? It gave me the option. I wouldn't until your benefit year is totally over. That's just me personally. I have heard some people say that once that button shows up, you can use it. But again, I don't actually recommend doing that button. I recommend calling, because if you call, they're able to see right away if you qualify for a new claim, and if not, keep you on the extensions on your existing claim. Brian, yes, so same situation for you, Brian. Amy, should I have waited? You know, it's hard to say whether you should have waited for taxes or not. All the news articles were saying go ahead and file early. You know, there seems to be a lot of reasons to file early and a lot of reasons not to file early. It is going to change the amount that you could potentially get back on a refund, though. So, but it's not necessarily bad that you filed. We didn't know this was going to be in there, but it might be worth it to file an amended return. Mare Bear says, my year ends in September, but my benefits expire in 2 weeks. With the new bill, will I be put on PEUC or will it be an extension until September? So in 2 weeks, so that would be after the phase out period, I don't know what they're going to call it. I don't know if they'll call it PEUC 3 or what they'll call it, but I would think that you would go on to an extension as long as that new stimulus bill passes. Tune to me. Probably not saying that right, and I'm sorry if I'm not. How long will the extra $300 last? So the current $300 that has passed goes through the week ending March 13th that we certify for on March 14th. If the stimulus bill passes in the House and is signed into law by President Biden, how it's written now, it would extend the extra $300 a week through the week ending. It's actually September 4th, even though they're showing an end date of the program on September 5th. Shauna says, I'm on regular unemployment. They recently added money to my claim, although my benefit year is 3/28. Why is that? Okay, so they just add the whole 11 weeks of PEUC to your balance, and they do that whether you can really use it or not. They just add the full amount, even though your benefit year might end. That's going to be the easiest way to say it. And they might not make you totally reapply. And also it's there in case you don't qualify for a new claim, then you can continue to draw down the amount that's there. Okay. Yep. Freddie was answering. Tunde. Lisa says, hello. Paloma says, I reapplied for unemployment, but my certification is still pending. If it's been pending for more than 72 hours, I would definitely call them. Somebody gave me a little sloth sticker, little fingers. Yeah, you have to call them. Tiff says, can you walk us through exactly the steps to take next week when our year ends? Certify for that last week on the 14th and certify the day after it ends, or are they possibly extending? Okay, so my claim ends 3/13. And I just certified today. So I don't know yet because it hasn't switched to paid and given me the next time I can certify. So I don't know if it's going to let me certify for just the 1 week. I only have enough in my claim balance to last that 1 week, or if it will actually not have me certify until 3/21. And basically what's going to happen for me, since my benefit year ends March 13th, is March 14th, I'm going to call and I'm going to say, hey, My benefit year ended. Do I need to apply for a new claim? Is there enough money? What's my next step? So I'm going to call them after my benefit year ends. I might have enough for a new claim. I'm not sure. I worked a couple of days here and there at the theater. So I've worked a little bit. So I'm not sure which way mine's going to go. If I qualify for a whole new claim and it's the same weekly benefit amount, they'll just give me a whole new claim. If I don't qualify and I get denied, or I call and they say, no, you're not going to qualify for a whole new claim, that's when they will keep you on the extension. And so either way, either you're going to qualify for a new claim or you're going to qualify for the extensions. But we do need the new stimulus bill to kind of pass in order to stay on the extensions. Some people will have money to carry them all the way through April 10th, whereas other people, like myself, our money runs out the week ending 3/13. Yeah, and Julio is saying you have to reapply after the last week you certify. You're going to at least need to call them, is my guess. Mercedes says, what makes you qualify for a new claim? They're going to look at the earnings in your base period, and then they also need you to have done some work between when you first applied for unemployment and now. And that's where a lot of people are not going to meet the new requirements. I'm going to get some water. That means please take a minute and like the video. Slap says, my cup of water is too far. Hey, everybody. My question is, can I still call my company office for hazard pay work? My calculator is ready. I'm not sure what that means. I'm not sure. Janetta says, I'm glad about the tax credit because I'm single. I'm single too, and I was about to owe $1,200. So I'm hoping that this will save me from that. I might still owe a little, but it's not going to be $1,200. So I'm glad about that as well. Andy says, what if you already had PEUC and then got put on FedEd afterwards? I already had them try to open a new account, but I didn't qualify. Is this the end of the road for me? No, because Andy, you probably had the first 13 weeks of PEUC before you went on to FedEd. So according to the math in my head, you probably have never had the second PEUC extension, which is supposed to last 11 weeks, but for you, it would only last through April 10th now. So they should still load you up with the second set of PEUC weeks, and that's going to be a situation like the one above. They're going to load you with a full claim balance to last 11 weeks, but the program completely phases out after April 10th. And then you're waiting for more extensions, which we do think will pass. Anybody know a good trick to get through to the EDD? I certainly don't. I wish I did. All right. I'm going to say it right because you gave me a donation and I appreciate it. Millie, Skinny Millie. Yes, I did it. Okay. And this is like a little duck wearing sunglasses. Thank you so much for the donation. Oh, Blue-Eyed Female, you're in here again. I should probably make you a moderator. And I am a full 30 minutes away from behind in the comments. Blue-Eyed Female, I just activated your moderator duties, I believe. If you want them, you don't have to. Blue-Eyed Female has helped me moderate the chat before. So again, please don't ask your question more than 2 times. What else? And nothing too dirty. Normally when I say that, then people leave like dirty comments. And you don't have to moderate if you just popped in for a minute, Blue-Eyed Female. Hannah says, my account has been stuck in pending since the end of December and all my claims stay pending. I got a paper in the mail for ID verification that I sent in by mail. I never sent anything back. About a week ago, I received an appeal form. All right, Hannah, that sounds like it's going to be a little bit of a mess. Definitely. First, I want you to call the EDD. I know it's so hard to get through. Call the EDD and say, hey, I did send it back. I wasn't initially asked online. I didn't receive anything in the mail until this date, but as soon as I got it, I sent it back within the time frame. Is there any way that you can remove the disqualification so that I don't have to appeal? first do that. But you only have 10 days to respond about the appeal. So you're going to need to find out quickly if they're able to successfully remove that for you. Also get your assembly member involved. Say, hey, I just barely got this letter and they're already saying I'm disqualified and they want me to appeal. But do that like now. Just leave the chat. I don't care about the views. Leave the chat. Go take care of that right now. Call the EDD. Reach out to your assembly member. Let them know what's going on. But if they're not able to help you, make sure to get that appeal form back within that 10-day time frame. And unfortunately, an appeal is a very lengthy process, which is why I want you to call the EDD and see if they're able to remove that for you. Oh, and Joanna Morales, thank you for the donation. And I'm going to be on the lookout for your question. You guys, you do not need to donate. If you do, it does help me see your question a little bit better, but also try and type your question, because if you have a question, I want to make sure that I get to it, especially if you're giving me a donation. Okay. And Charlene says, my FedEd ended as well as my claim year. I filed to reopen my case and haven't heard anything. The only thing I got was a message saying I might get 11 weeks extended the first week of March. So since you haven't heard, I give them a call and say, hey, I did this, but I haven't been paid in this many weeks. What's going on with my claim? Catherine says, can you explain how the lag period works? I worked 2 days in my claim year. Out of the claim year, I have 2 quarters that I worked. So the lag is normally in reference to having an attachment to the workforce. How much did you end in the 2 quarters that they're still counting? Because I think you need to earn more than $1,300 in those 2 quarters. So, and keep in mind, and this isn't for people on FedEd, but if you're on one of the PEUC extension right now, and your benefit amount lowers by $25 or more, then they're also supposed to keep you on the extensions. But the lag period is in reference to doing some work. And you said you have worked a couple of days. So you might qualify for a new claim. But again, call them and see what they say, because if you don't, that's when they can just keep you on the extension. Killa Kev says, I was scheduled to file taxes tonight. Should I wait a week until the bill is signed so I can get the tax forgiveness on unemployment? Yes. Killa Kev, if you have not filed yet, I would wait in your case. And that's true for anybody. If you guys have not filed your taxes yet, please don't do it until it's signed into law. And then I would even give it a few more days after that, because I'm not sure how quickly this is going to update on the IRS website and tax software, and that tax accountants and CPAs will even know about it, because with so many changes, it's a lot for them to keep on top of. So yeah, I would wait a little bit. Catherine says, I'm just wondering if you have insight. And Catherine, that was about the lag period. So we just talked about that. And guys, I'm 30 minutes behind on the comments. Hot Tamale says, spoke to a rep Friday, told me they filed PEUC for me. How long should it take to show? It should be there by your next certification date, especially if they did it for you. Slap says, maybe China's interfering with the midnight certification. I don't think that's it. I think it's just the old system. And LA Barbie, thank you so much for the donation. You definitely don't have to, because you donate almost every week that you're in here. Thank you for saying I'm a blessing. No, I'm really glad that I've been able to help you guys, and that it's a central place that I can try and answer all my old employees' questions as well. Sean says, what's up? Not much. Andy says, I wonder with this new bill, FedEd will get extended, or if we will get help because April is the last of your money. So yes, how even this part was written, if you're on FedEd, they wanted you to, one, see if you qualified for a new claim at the end of your benefit year. That's what's written by the dole. It's not necessarily what's happening, but that's what's in writing, is once your benefit year ends, to apply for a new claim. Then if you don't qualify for a new claim, they were like, hey, we want you to use all of your FedEd weeks first. And then after you've gone through all of your FedEd weeks, that's when we'll put you onto the extension. So that is what I expect will happen this time, that you'll draw down your FedEd balance, and then they'll put you on the extension. That's what I expect to happen. John Francis said, I called the EDD to put me on my second extension. The rep told me that the system is not letting them process, so he advised to call again tomorrow. That's strange. I'm not sure why they would have told you that. If there's a gap in when you've been able to certify and you haven't been paid, that's also when I would reach out to your assembly member. Jay Leans says, California EDD Governor Gavin, invisible with problems, hires 72-year-old with no experience running a company like this. Deplorable agency. Yeah, Gavin has been really silent about this, although he is getting that $600 California stimulus done. So I guess that's a good thing. And I don't know if Rita doesn't have experience. You know, a lot of times they promote from within. So I'm not sure if like she's somebody that actually worked for the EDD for a long time and she just got a promotion. She's definitely on the older side, but hopefully that means that she has more experience. I have not been happy with how she's been running things. I expected more, but that's what they did. Neil says, I rock. Thank you. Amy's helping Kilikev. What was Killikev's question again? Oh, about waiting for the taxes. Yes, I would wait. I would wait at least a week. And I'm sure more information is going to come out about that after the bill's actually signed into law. I have to think about this every time I see her name. I don't know why my brain can't process it. Millie. Yes, I say it right all the time, and then she gave me sunflowers. Lisa says, I would wait. Yep. So that you don't have to file an amended return. Correct. Aaron says, is the tax exemption for upcoming earnings or for the year of 2020? Right now, it's for the year of 2020. It's not tax forgiveness on 2021. That would be nice. So maybe if there is another stimulus bill, maybe they could think about that ahead and forgive it for this year as well. Sean said, he says Gunny, but he means Jenny, made a video showing what she made in 1 month on YouTube, and pretty good. Now it's my turn and you never have to go back to the theater again. Well, Sean, you guys, I do talk to Jenny and I'm inspired by her as well. But I knew she was going to do it. At the beginning of January, I said, Jenny, I think you're going to make $20,000. I don't want to spoil it. Go watch her video. She did not quite make $20,000 in 1 month. 1 month. But it was close. It was close, guys. Go watch Jenny Silver's video. I think that's on her second channel. And I'll disclose, in January, I made almost $6,000. Of course, before expenses. And I bought a camera that I still don't know how to use. But I made $6,000 in January, not in February, though. So it's real inconsistent. And I've barely made over 20,000 like this whole time. And I'm sure some of you guys are like, barely over 20,000. I would love to have that. So I'm not complaining. It's not quite enough to like quit my other job though, especially after expenses, because there's like weird stuff that you buy. I've got like a weird camera lens here, and I've got some weird tripod here, and there's all these things that you have to buy, and like it's weird. It's a hard drive. I don't even know how to. I actually know how to use everything I'm holding, but I have some stuff that I don't know how to use. So it does not have to be expensive. For the most part, I did it all with my phone. So don't let that scare you guys. If you want to learn YouTube, you can do it all on your phone. But now I'm trying to make the videos better for you guys. But yeah, I'm not where she is, but it is amazing. It's amazing, the potential on YouTube. Yes, I did answer Kilikev's question. I would wait. I have not filed my own taxes yet. But part of it's because it's a mess, because I don't know how to, it's my first year being in my own business. I don't know how to exactly write this off. And do I get to write off this blue room? I don't know. I don't quite know. So I got to hire somebody. So I've been procrastinating on that. Okay. Sorry. I went off on a tangent. Freddie says the California Newsom 600 is a tax credit instead of an instant check. That is not my understanding of how that is going to work. Now, if you didn't get the second $600 stimulus check, that's a tax credit, because it's my understanding that you actually have to file your taxes, see if you qualify for the Cal EITC credit. And then if you do, that's when they would send you the money separately. So I'm not aware of that being a tax credit, But I'm also not a tax professional and I don't work for the EDD, so so check with your own tax advisor to see what they say about it. Yeah, they're taking a long time. Slap to certify. Tina, you're welcome. Yep, Amy, I got to the question, but I'm behind. Yeah, I'm slow, guys. Sorry, but I try and give detailed answers, and then sometimes I go off on tangents. But welcome to Shelly's Millions. Thank you guys for sticking around. Okay. Juan Carlos says my year ends on FedEd on April 4th. Do I need to reapply? If I need to reapply, can I do this 10 days before April 4th? Some people are saying that if you see the reapply button that you can push it. I'm not going to push that. I'm going to wait till my benefit year totally ends. And then I'm actually going to call. Some people on FedEd have actually reported that they're able to certify and continue getting paid. So if you want, that's an option to just, as long as you're getting paid, to just not worry about it. But I don't know if that's the right thing. And I don't know if that's going to cause problems somewhere down the line. All I know is that some people on FedEd have gone past their benefit year and are able to certify and get paid with no issues. Slap said, I called EDD. I asked why I'm still spending, and they said they're reviewing your certifications. So that's normal. You might need to get like a phone call, that phone determination. Mike says, when will we get the California 600 if you make 30,000 or less? So the 600 is supposed to come, if you have direct deposit, it's supposed to come 30 to 45 days after you file your 2020 state taxes. If you don't have direct deposit, if you're waiting on a paper check, I want to say that was 45 like 90 days. And if you're a non-filer, like someone who's like my mom who just gets Social Security and she makes less than 30,000, they haven't even said when they'll do it. So basically between 1 month and I think the high was 90 days. So between 1 month and 3 months after you file your 2020 California state taxes, which we normally file at the same time as we file our federal taxes. John Francis says, I'm on FedEd. I certify today. It says FedEd extension, but my claim ends March 14th. Do I have to call? With FedEd, I'm a little bit more torn on what to advise you guys to do because I'm not an EDD professional. I love to advise you guys, but normally how I figure things out is by following the message boards and seeing a pattern, looking on Reddit, looking on Twitter, and seeing how things are working. So I don't know, because I am getting a lot of reports that the FedEd people are able to certify and get paid with no problems. So I think personally, as long as you're able to certify on FedEd, even if it's past your benefit year, I think I wouldn't call them until there's a problem on your account. But certainly you can call them at the end of your benefit year. Red says, hello. Hello. Julia says, what's the UI? The unemployment? Okay. And Millie has given me more hearts and teddy bears. I'm going to get it right without like having to think about it. It's just going to take me a minute. Uh-oh. Slap. Beatrice says, I look beautiful. Thank you. Thank you, Freddie. Snow Surf is in here. Good morning. Everything is all good with your claim. You certified today, all smooth. You have 1 week left on benefits. Notify, I can certify again next Sunday. Interesting. So you certified today. You guys, I'm going to check. You guys talk nice to each other, help each other. I'm going to go ahead and check my claim to see if it's going to let me certify next week as well. Because there was some question about that. I'm not good at this. Okay. Oh my goodness. This was probably not well planned. Because there was some question like, oh, is it going to let us certify for just that 1 week, or will it make us wait 2 weeks? No, I'm not a robot. Some traffic lights. Oh, geez. It made me like verify twice. It's my little thingamabob. I also did the thing, you guys. I didn't look for jobs like I normally do these last couple weeks, but it does say that you don't have to list them. So I put yes, so it doesn't get tripped up. But then where it lists the employers, I hit skip, skip, skip. And you guys, I have this weird thing about filing a new claim or register or manage. So I'm going to register or manage. Yep. So, yep. So my weeks did switch to paid, even though I did not list 3 places that I looked for work. And it knows that I'm going to hit 0 next week. So it's going to let me certify again next week. And that's going to be my last week on the second PEUC extension. Interesting. So, the next question, because with mine too, I'm wondering if I'll go into Fed Ed next. Like, is there going to be a gap, or are they going to keep me on whatever the next extension is officially called? I think they're just going to call it PEUC still in this new stimulus bill. So yeah, thank you guys for waiting while I checked that. So yeah, what I think should happen is that new stimulus bill should be passed, and they should keep us on the next phase of PEUC that's going to go through September 4th. Cheryl, says that she loves seeing me. I love seeing all of you guys, except I can't actually see you, but I love seeing like the familiar names, even when I can't pronounce them in the feed. Makeup Addict says, can I qualify for benefits if I decide to go to school so I can find a new job? Yes, but it may flag your account when you certify, and you may need to answer questions on a phone determination interview, because remember, these computers don't understand how the way we live and work in today's society. So they don't understand like that you could take online classes and still be available for full-time work. They don't understand that you could go to school 1 day a week and be available 6 days a week. They don't understand it. So you may have to, be honest about that, but it's probably going to flag your account, and you're going to need to do a phone determination interview to explain like, yeah, I'm in school, but I can also work full time, because the computer thinks if you're in school that you can't work full time. Lisa's friend has a question. Happy to answer your friend's question. How do you get the California 600 instead of filing your taxes? So I'm not sure, unless you're on SSI, unless you're on a program that makes it so that you don't traditionally file taxes, and then like the system just kind of knows, I think. I don't exactly know. But I'm not sure, so for SSI, it should just know. But for other people that maybe have made less than $12,000, which I think is the other requirement for not having to file, I'm not sure. Maybe Lisa, maybe I'll ask when I do my taxes. How about that? Because I'm not a tax professional, so I'm not sure. I know that there's a way for like non-filers to claim like the other tax credits. I'm not sure if there is on this one. There's got to be. I just don't know. So I just want to be honest about that. Okay. I'm now almost 45 minutes behind in the comments, but I can go a little bit late today. I'm probably not going to get to everybody's. I apologize about that, but hopefully in answering someone else's question, it'll also answer yours. Maria says, I reapplied last month and papers are pending. How long do we have to wait when reapplying? If you do choose to hit the reapply button, it really should only be about 3 weeks. That's usually the time to open a new claim, and hitting that button kind of triggers that. So you should have been able to certify and get paid already. Neil, you're welcome. I'm glad that you found this helpful. Denise says, good morning. The fraud is way out of hand. I had to spend my card to protect myself. You guys, I'm actually making a video about that, but for the 356 of you listening right now, please, please, please set up your EDD debit card to do automatic transfers into your regular bank. I know that some people feel super sketchy about regular banks, and I don't know why, but try and find a regular bank that you can trust. I use Wells Fargo. I don't love them, but whatever. For savings, I use Yada Bank. I don't think you can set up your EDD transfers into Yada. I don't think you'd want to, but please set up automatic transfers into your regular bank account. Every morning on those Facebook message boards that I'm in, I see somebody else get hit by fraud. And for me, I didn't do automatic transfers right away because I didn't know this. But some weeks I hit the check taxes button to keep them out. Some weeks I didn't. Some weeks we were getting $300 a week. Some weeks we were getting $400 a week. So I never knew if my amount was going to be the same. Was I going to take out taxes? Were we getting 300? Were we getting 600? And I thought you had to know the exact amount that you wanted to transfer off of the Bank of America card and into your regular bank account, but you don't. There's an option to choose full amount. So whatever the full amount is on that gets deposited onto the EDD debit card, it'll just automatically know that amount and then transfer it into your bank account. Please don't get hit by fraud. Please, please, please set up automatic transfers to your bank account. And absolute worst case scenario, hit the suspend card button, which keeps it locked unless you're using it, because those cards are getting targeted again really heavily. Please, please, please protect your money. After going through all this, I don't want to see any of you guys have to sit on the phone with Bank of America for fraud again. Okay. Uh-oh. I'm going to skip Slap's comment. Lissa says, I'm literally at my wit's end. I've been told for 11 weeks I'm in review for a non-ID issue. I got my text from EDD that I was verified. They sent me a letter saying I was disqualified for not verifying ID. That's super shady. That letter saying that you're disqualified probably came with a 10 days to appeal. So one, I know that you don't want to do this, but call the EDD, say, hey, they told me that my ID was fine, but now I got this letter saying I'm disqualified. Can you lift that? Or do I really need to file the appeal? Then also get your assembly member involved and say, hey, I gave them everything. I even called and they confirmed that they had my ID. Now I'm getting this disqualification letter. Because I don't want you to miss that 10-day turnaround to file the appeal, but the appeal process does take a long time if you have to go through that. So on the one hand, if you don't have to go through the appeal, that would be ideal. But if you do, I don't want you to miss that 10-day turnaround. Aaron says, if we get a new claim year and balance, will we still get the $300 boost? Heck yeah, you would. I'm going to skip like the hey girls and stuff. Mike, call after your benefit year ends and see what they want you to do. Emily, I saw your donation. I'm going to, Karen knew the unemployment rate. It's 9% unemployment, the second highest in the nation. That's tied into Fed Ed. Fed Ed will be around as long as our unemployment rate remains high. Thank you, Karen. I'm going to scroll around a little bit. But I am going to go later. Okay. Yeah, I'm happy for the bill to be signed also, Millie. Me too. Okay. Oh, someone's name is Tia Hardy. Aunt Hardy says, hello. Sorry, I just want to I want to try and get to people that are in the current chat, and I want to make sure. Sometimes it doesn't always show me like the little stickers and stuff. Okay. So Alex, I'm going to look for your comment. Oh, the reapply button earlier. Okay, let's see. Oh, so Alex says, should I push the button to reapply on the EDD site? Alex, my advice is no. And here's why. If you hit the reapply, we all need to try and reapply after our benefit year ends. So says the EDD. But if you're on Fed Ed, oftentimes it'll let you certify past your benefit year and get paid with no problems. I recommend calling the EDD over hitting the reapply button because it's going to be faster. If you get a hold of the EDD, and they may even say you don't need to reapply, but what they mean is we can look and see, and we can tell you're not going to qualify. So we're going to skip the reapply step. And that way, then my friend texted me and I got disturbed because it pops up. Anyway, sorry. If you call, they can tell that you don't qualify right away. Then they can keep you on the extension without going through the process of reapplying, waiting about 3 weeks to see if you qualify or not. And if not, then they still have to keep you on the extensions. Whereas if you call, they can just see right away and keep you on the extension. Employed female, you show up now with a little wrench because you're an ad. I've got you as a moderator. Ellen says, how do you apply for the transfer of funds to the bank account? So I'm going to make a video on that, but I do it from my phone and I can't show you because I don't know how to like log in without like showing you all my deets. But I go to the Bank of America EDD debit card website, and then there's like 3 little lines on the upper right-hand corner. Click My Money, and then Transfers, and then set up reoccurring transfer, and then it's going to ask you transfer amount. That's the part that I got tripped up on. You're going to choose full amount, and then you do need to know your like bank account number and your routing number, which you should be able to get like off of an old check. I don't even know if you guys have checks anymore. I still have checks, but I like never write them. So your routing number and bank account should be on your check. If not, there's a way to find it on your bank's online information. Okay. Oh, blue-eyed female, you're on the FedEd extension, and you're saying your claim expires March 23rd or somewhere around there. You'll still have leftover funds in your account, but yours ends May 10th. The funds? I'm confused. Anyway, Maria says, what's next after reopening another claim year? How long does it take? Because I have payments pending. So that's the other thing, is that if you are allowed to certify, but you're past your benefit year, it can cause those payments to get stuck. Maria, I recommend calling them instead of hitting that button, because it is going to be at least a 3-week process if you hit the button. And they should pay all those weeks, but you're going to have to wait at least 3 weeks because it goes through all the process of becoming a new claim. And then if you don't qualify, it getting denied and then still having to put you on the extensions. I'm still skipping around a little bit. Oh my goodness. Somebody just donated $50. I feel like that's a typo and that you need like 45 of that back. But thank you, Bernardo. And I'm going to be on the lookout for your question. I really appreciate that. I'm going to do Rich's question. What happens if PUA claim and the last week to certify, you will only have about half a balance? So on that last week, you'll get the half a balance. So like that normally happens if you report some wages. And unfortunately on the last week, the PUA is a little bit different, but I think on that last week, they're only going to give you what you have left. And then we're hoping that that new stimulus bill passes. They'll load your weeks back up. That'll take you through the week ending September 4th. And then you'll continue to get your full amount. Bernardo, I got to be on the lookout for a question. If you have a question, I really want to make sure I get to yours because that's so nice of you. Yeah. Oh, somebody was paid. Oh, Alex, you were paid for one weekend, not the other. Definitely you want to call and you want to say, hey, my benefit year is over. I think that it's time for me to reapply, but are you able to check for me? I haven't done any work since I first applied, so I don't think I'm going to qualify. You'd want to say something like that. Oh, no. Oh, and just some girl said is a member, so welcome to Just Some Girl. And I'm going to be on the lookout for your question as well, because I want to make sure to get to the members' questions and to people that donate. And Bernard, I gotta see if you have a question. So I'm scrolling back up to see if I see one from Bernard. I don't yet, but while I'm scrolling around, Karen's reminding everybody to please like the video, which I would certainly appreciate. You know what? I normally do that when I drink water. I haven't drank enough water during this. Kingdom Shifters says, What do I do? My extension is not showing, still it's showing maximum benefits paid, and they're within their benefit year. So the system got really backlogged. Normally that updates on its own in time for you to certify, but for a lot of people it hasn't because everybody's claim year was ending around the same time. So if you're still within your benefit year and it's saying maximum benefits paid and 2 weeks has gone by and you have not been able to certify, you're also going to need to call them. But with that, also, reach out to your assembly member and they should be able to help you get paid. But that should be pretty easy. Cece girl, I'm just skipping around. I've gone back up again. I'm still on the lookout for Bernard's question and just some girl's question. Ooh, and then I'm going to get to one. I've got two people with like cool screen names. So I've got XX Silver Shadow. I have 2 weeks pending 4 weeks ago, but my last 2 weeks were paid. When I call, they don't tell me anything. So again, you can reach out to your assembly member, and I've got the link to do that in the description of the video. Reach out to them and say, hey, I had 4 weeks pending. Only 2 of them have been paid. There's missing weeks. I need help getting those missing weeks paid, and they should be able to help you. And then I've got Theme Park Pro, and your username tells me that you are probably not back at work yet either. So I'm sorry about that. You certify next Sunday, but it's my final week of the first PEUC 13 weeks. Do you think I will get the 11 weeks? My benefit year ends April 3rd. So what I think is going to happen is that they're going to load you up with the second PEUC extension, I think, because I think that they're going to load you up with the second PEUC extension that will take you through the week ending April 3rd when your benefit year ends, but you might be able to certify till April 10th. Also, if the new stimulus bill gets signed into effect, you kind of might skip the whole second PEUC extension and just go right into the one that they're just signing into law. And then you would still probably need to call them about reapplying after April 3rd. But if you don't qualify, they would keep you on the extension that would take you all the way to the week ending September 4th. Okay, I hope that made sense. Uh-oh. Okay, let's see here. I'm skimming questions because I probably will end this pretty soon. Oops. Oh, here's just some girls' question I found. I have exhausted my regular unemployment and Fed Ed funds. I'm now on PEUC, but those funds will run out pretty soon. If the new stimulus bill is passed, will they be adding more funds to my account? I'm on a benefit extension until the end of this year. Should I keep from certifying so that my funds do not get exhausted and benefit year ends? No. So if you're on Fed Ed and they've now put you back on PEUC, once those run out, we are hoping that the new stimulus bill will pass. And if they do that, they're going to load up your benefit amount with enough money to take you through September 4th. And depending on where your benefit year ends, because one other thing that I'm not sure if I've made clear is when you call and they don't totally make you reapply, if they bypass that process to keep you on the extension, you may have to call again in 3 months, because since you haven't totally reapplied, they may make you check every quarter to see if you've had any earnings that would qualify you for a new claim. I know that we're all happy about calling the EDD more. But if you have weeks to certify, I would certify them. I wouldn't skip them just to keep a balance in your claim. I hope that made sense. Kevin says, should we reapply for a new claim early if we're on extension, or should we wait until the end date? So one girl in another message board on Facebook, she applied early, but as this is my understanding, and again, I don't work for the EDD, my understanding is that it's going to deny you a new claim if you're still within your benefit year, and it's going to say like you have an existing claim. So my gut instinct tells me that applying before your benefit year ends could cause something wonky to happen with your claim. So what I recommend doing is waiting until your benefit year totally ends and then calling the EDD. And it's going to be a nightmare because all of our claims are ending around the same time, which means in addition to whatever problems we're having with our claims pending and things like that, we're all also going to be calling. But calling is going to be faster if you don't qualify for a whole new claim to be kept on the extension. Darlene 408 wants to know how long till they make a decision on my appeal. You guys, this is why if you have those disqualifications, if there's any way for them to lift them, that I want you to try and do that without going through the appeal, because what I'm about to say, like, it breaks my heart. And I've had a friend go through this. From the time my friend applied for the appeal and sent the notice back and got the date back, it was 10 weeks. And then he had his appeal with the judge, and the judge said the EDD didn't send us all the paperwork that we need. Surprise, surprise, the EDD dropped the ball. Ooh. And the judge said, oh, but since you're already in the system and I know you've been waiting, we won't make you wait 10 weeks again. But then he had to wait 5 more weeks. So he had to wait 15 weeks for the appeal process to happen. So, and I hear that that's a regular timeline. I'm actually starting to hear that appeals are taking 18 weeks because it's just a lot of people are needing to appeal. Perfect Lady says, I owe taxes. Will I still get stimulus checks? So you may want to wait to completely file, and you may want to file an amended return, because if this new stimulus bill passes, it does look like they're trying to forgive the first $10,200 on unemployment benefits, which might mean you don't end up owing. And again, I'm going to say that I'm not a tax professional, so to check with your tax professional. Oh, Magda, there's not a good number to call the EDD. They're all a hot mess, but I will give you the ones that I know. So those two numbers are 833-978-2511. And the other number that I know is 800-300-5616. But those are the same numbers everybody's calling. Those are the ones that are public on their website. And those are the only ones that I know. Tony, I see you in here. So I know what you're going to ask me, but I'll get to it in a second. How long before I get my ID.me approved? I did my ID.me. How many days? It is 10 days. So it's only the EDD is put in writing 7 to 10 days, but many users are reporting that it takes 30 days after they do ID.me to actually switch to paid. And Tony, I do worry about your claim. But I know you've called them a lot of times. I'm worried on yours. The ID.me issue is not the only issue going on with your claim. I don't know that. So I hope that it is just the ID issue, but I'm a little bit nervous about that. And then Crip Street says, should I call if my balance has not went up from December 27th for the extension? Because I know today was the day for a lot of people. Yes, please call them. It's not normal at this point for you to have not been paid since December 27th. And furthermore, there should be a link in the description of this video. Like if you expand underneath the chat or close the chat and then use the drop down arrow, there should also be a link on how to reach your local assembly member, and you're definitely going to want to get them involved. Make sure to use this phrase: I am experiencing a financial hardship because I have not been paid since December 27th, and see if they can help you. Okay, and again, I'm still just kind of skipping around. Sherry says, I'd like to know too what to do if you're on unemployment in California and are moving out of state. So what is supposed to happen is you are still supposed to get benefits from the state you last worked in. So you are supposed to still be able to collect unemployment from the state of California. And when you move, you're supposed to just, update your address, get a new driver's license with the new state, but you should still qualify for California unemployment benefits. I will say that please keep in mind that I said should, because some people unfortunately are having some problems after they move out of state with being told something to the effect of they don't have a footprint in California. So you're supposed to be able to move, just report it, update your driver's license, and have everything go smoothly, but it doesn't always work that way. All right. And then Tony said that he called Lorena Gonzalez, and she says there's no red flag. She confirmed you verified ID. And Lorena Gonzalez, you guys, she is an assembly member for San Diego, but she's helping people that live in all sorts of different counties. And I love podcasts. It's funny because you totally know my whole story, but like, I feel like I don't see you pop up. But I noticed you in Jenny and I, when we did the collaboration that's on her channel, I saw I Love Podcast all up in there, and they knew all about how I had applied to be Graham Stephan's assistant. I haven't heard, and I'm kind of hearing that I think they've picked somebody, so I don't think I got that job. And you want to know, is there any update on a 401k withdrawal fee waiver this year? I haven't heard anything about that recently, but that's something that I'm interested in as well. So I will be on the lookout for that once we have that final version of the new stimulus bill passed. True Love says, I haven't been paid since February 7th. An email warned me that I will be able to certify early March. I was told on Thursday that I should be able to certify March 7th. Should I call them? Yes. If you got an email that said you should be able to certify today and you weren't, I would definitely call them. I Love Podcasts. What do you want to do with your 401k money? Are you investing? Are you going to buy a house? Do you just need it to cover bills? Yeah, I don't know. That would be nice. And again, though, that's only even when that was in place in 2020, you still are taxed on that money. You just aren't paid you weren't charged the early withdrawal penalty. And I want to say, so it's like 20% taxes. You're just not paid the other 10%. And that was in 2020. I don't know if they're still waiving that this year, but I will find out. Oh, Darlene says, oh, wow, just checked my account. Payments no longer say appeal. They say paid again. It says to reopen claim. Should I just reopen? I'm not, okay. Yes, but then if you're missing any weeks, call them. So yeah, that is something that got reported, that if you're seeing disqualification and you still have the reopen claim button on your account, that by hitting reopen claim will fix the disqualification. But there was some talk a while ago that hitting the reopen claim button would cause like some weeks to be missing from your certification dates. So if you hit that, it might solve the disqualification issue. But it could cause you to be missing weeks. Cece girl says that she didn't hear her question answered. Cece girl, can you just ask your question one more time? Because I may have skipped it accidentally. Oh, I answered it already. I'll answer it again if you ask it again. And then Tony says that Lorena's assistant is great. Rich says they have to wait till the last minute to get the bill done, and it's a big mess. Yeah, it is. Hollywood Koroleva. I feel like I didn't say that right. And I'm sorry if I didn't. I did not receive my back pay from 2/1, but on the account it shows that the EDD pays 2/1 of 2020. So I would call them. It's my understanding that like the furthest that you could backdate was starting 2/2 of 2020. But yeah, you'll have to call them if they said that they paid you for a week that you didn't actually get paid for. And you can also enlist the help of your assembly member on that. Crystal says, I have my 1099, but I never did taxes before. Okay, don't worry about that. I'm not a tax professional, but taxes are not that scary. I would wait a little while. And Skinny Millie, I see, Bernard, that you're reposting Bernardo's question. So I'm going to do that in a second. Thank you for helping me, you guys. Taxes are not scary. But I'd wait because they're talking about forgiving some of the unemployment money. So I'd wait maybe a week, maybe 2 weeks, then just use some free online software. I believe Credit Karma has a free program for you to file taxes. But I would wait because if this new stimulus bill gets passed with the tax forgiveness, it's probably going to take them a little while to update those computer programs. But it's pretty simple. It'll ask you some questions. It's not super scary. Okay. And Skinny Millie, thank you for helping with Bernardo's question. He hasn't been asked to verify his identity. Will he be asked to do so? Not necessarily. New PUA claims are required to verify their identity, but some people are not being asked to verify their identity even after they have to reapply for a whole new claim. So my advice, I wouldn't try and do it early. I wouldn't call them or anything. What I would do is I would just wait until they ask you to verify your ID. But in the meantime, make sure that that you don't have an expired driver's license or ID card. Make sure that everything's current and that you know where it is. That way, in case you're asked, you have everything ready. And Fabio, thank you for the donation. You're on PEUC. You're supposed to certify today, but UI Online telling me to apply. My year-end date is on 3/20. I'm confused. Okay, I'm going to try and hold up something for you. Hold on. Let's see. Hold on. Oh, shoot. I'm logged out. Okay, so what I think you're having is where it's saying PUA, and then it should say file a new claim, but there should be something where it says to manage existing claim. So Fabio, just hit manage existing claim, and then you should be able to certify. Let me know if that works for you, and if you see the option to do that. Okay, and then let's get it started again. Says, when this new child tax credit is approved, would children qualify if they are turning 18 at the end of March 2021? That I'm not sure. So the new child tax credit does say children under the age, I'm sorry, it says 18 and under. So it's including, wait, let me check. It might say under 18, but they're turning 18 in March. I'm honestly not sure, and it's going to take me a minute to figure it out. I will try and look into that, and I appreciate the donation. I really hate when I don't know the answer and you've donated. The thing is, I'm not a tax professional, so I'm not sure when they count those birthdays. And I think it says 18 and under, which might include someone who's 18. But check with your tax professional. I would think you would at least be able to get partial. Okay. And, I'm missing some things. Karen has a good suggestion, but I missed what it was. Oh, maybe we can do a fact. So let's read through an FAQ, actually. This is from one of the message boards I'm on, and then I'll do 1 or 2 more questions, and then I'll go. Let me do CC Girls, then read the fact, then Emily's, and then go. Okay. She says, I'm on California UI FedEd, and my claim is ending 3/21. I'm moving to Vegas on 4/1. What should I expect overall? It shouldn't mess it up, but get a new ID and do mark the box that you've changed. The unemployment is supposed to be tied into the state you worked in, not the state you live in. So it's supposed to be okay, but sometimes it does cause issues. But I hope it doesn't for you. And then Emily says, that she's near San Jose, followed our suggestion, contact the assemblyman, and they're awesome. And they're replying and helping with our claim. Yeah, the assembly members are so much better than just the regular EDD. You're welcome, Crip Street. And Bonnie 007 says, how can I refund the tax withheld that I paid for 2020? So you would need to file an amended return. Okay, and you guys are helping each other, and I'm going to look for this FAQ, and then I'm going to take off for the day. It'll probably take me a minute to read it, and I'll probably do like a whole video on it, but I think you guys will find this really helpful. Okay, so this is the new stimulus FAQ and extensions, and I'm reading this off of the Unemployment California group where I'm a moderator. Oh, that puts bad lighting on my face. Anyway, and it says, based on what we know so far, and things could change. So this could change. Are the extra weeks applied automatically? So this is talking about if the stimulus bill passes and things are extended to September 6th. Are the extra weeks applied automatically? Yes, so long as you're within your benefit year. Once your claim has a zero balance, the weeks will be added and should be available the next time you certify. Question, my claim is about to expire. Do I need to reapply? Yes, extensions cannot be applied to an expired claim if the individual is able to obtain a new UI claim. If you are already on a PEUC extension and your claim expires, you will need to reapply as well. And I did not write this, but I recommend calling instead of hitting the reapply button. So if I don't qualify for a new claim, is that it for me? No, quite the contrary. The extension program is set up to provide benefits to those that cannot obtain a new claim. If your application is denied, your current claim will continue with the extension added at your same weekly benefit amount. Oh dear. If I'm on FedEd and my claim year is about to expire with a balance remaining, do I need to reapply now or wait? It seems that EDD is allowing FedEd extension to continue past the claim expiration date until the balance is exhausted. Oh, hi, bad grandpa. I hope this isn't boring you guys. Thank you, Crip Street. And I live in Los Angeles, and I see the blue heart. And I've got a blue room, so you know. I hope I didn't offend. I love everybody, but I'm hip to the Los Angeles stuff. Okay. Let's see here. If I'm on FedEd and my claim, if I'm on FedEd and my claim year is about to expire with a balance remaining, do I reapply now or wait? It seems like EDD is allowing FedEd extensions to continue past the claim expiration date until the balance is exhausted. Okay, Crystal. Born and raised LA, me too. Crystal, what's your question? Let me try and find it. Crystal, ask it again. I'm so sorry because I'm skipping around and then I'm trying to read this, but I feel like a lot of the questions are going to be in this FAQ. Okay. Michael's saying if you work part-time, you can still collect EDD because you're underemployed. It all depends on your weekly benefit amount and how much you make, because let's say your old job was 40 hours, but it paid $14 an hour, but maybe your new job, you're working 10 hours, but you make $30 an hour. I realize that's ridiculous, but it depends on like your own weekly benefit amount. Okay. I was denied. Let me reread that about FedEd. So I'm on FedEd. Do I need to reapply? It seems EDD is allowing FedEd extensions to continue past the claim expiration date until the balance is exhausted. Then this says, I was denied a new claim and the PEUC extension was added to my old claim. Will I need to reapply again? Since your claim date is outside of the 52-week expiration window, there is no method for you to reapply. Your old claim will continue to receive available extensions, but it's highly likely your claim will be reviewed each quarter to determine if you could obtain a new claim. Is it hard to get a new claim? If you did not work since you have been on UI, there is a high probability you would not qualify for a new claim, but then you'd stay on the extensions. My current extension ends before 3/14. What do I do? You'll need to wait for 315 to be eligible to have the new weeks of PEUC added to your claim. It's not retro. Okay, that's confusing, so I'm not going to read that. I'm on PUA. My claim expires 410. Do I need to reapply? No. On or around 315, the new additional weeks will be added to your claim automatically. So that's it for those FAQs. There's some good songs. I love LA. Okay, let's put this back on. And let's see if I can get back to Crystal's question. And I appreciate all the love. And yeah, I love everybody, but I really love LA. Crystal, ask your question again. And if you do, that's going to be, that'll be the last question. And I'll read a couple questions while I'm seeing if Crystal wants to repost. Scott says, later, haters, have a great Sunday. But Scott's a good guy. He's always commenting. Okay. This Cloud says, if I received a severance in a later quarter than my other final claim, would that be income? I don't think severance pay is, but you're going to click that thing that says that you have other sources of income, and then that's where you're going to list that. And I don't think those other sources of income actually lower your weekly benefit amount. Just some girl says, when might the new stimulus pass? So it really should pass in the House on Monday and get signed by Biden on Tuesday, but we don't really know. There can be delays. We hope that there's not delays, but we think maybe Tuesday, but it could be later. The House could vote on it early Monday. They could get it on his desk by Monday and he could sign it by Monday, but definitely we think we'll know for sure this week. Kaya says, how can you check if your card is coming or just wait? I don't think there's a way to make sure it's on the way. Your Bank of America EDD debit card should take 7 to 10 days to arrive in the mail. If it takes longer than that, there's a number on the EDD website to call them. Oh, Crystal, there's your question, and you're going to be the last of the day. And I see a lot of you guys reminding everybody else watching to please like the video, and I would certainly appreciate that. So Crystal says, my last payment was November 18th, 2020. I have not received any payment since I was supposed to send a copy of my ID. But over here in Blythe, California, ID Me was closed permanently, or the DMV was closed permanently for the coronavirus. Okay, so Crystal, a lot going on there. If your ID is expired, a lot of times you can just request a new one online. So see if you can find LI, do yours again, and I'll try and get to it too. And yours will really, really be the last one. So you're going to have to figure out how to get a current driver's license or passport. That may mean that you have to drive to a different city or have someone take you to a different city or Uber to a different city, but you are going to need a non-expired ID in order to do that. And then I see that you got the disqualification, but you have a balance, and they told you have to appeal. How do I do that as soon as possible? So once you're at the appeal process, it's very slow. My friend had 10 weeks, but then it ended up actually being 15 weeks before it got cleared up. You also only have 10 days to send back that appeal notice from when you got that disqualification letter. So since it's from ID, but you don't have a current ID, you might have to go through that appeal process, but call them and find out, and then also enlist the help of your assembly member, but do not miss that 10-day turnaround to get that appeal form back. Okay. Oh, I love podcasts. Give me a $10 donation. Thank you so much. And you're very welcome. I'm so glad. Thank you. I hope I'm a nice person. I never mean to be mean. And I'm glad that you're enjoying the channel, and I'm glad that you found me. You're kind of new, but that's awesome. That may be why I haven't seen some of your comments before. Okay, and then LI's question's going to be the last one. I was getting EDD until January 16th because I exhausted my claim balance, but my claim didn't expire until February 20th. Will I still be eligible for those weeks? Oops, it jumped. If I reopen a new claim. So I would get that sorted out first. Any pending weeks that have not been paid, I would get those sorted out first. Then I would call them and see if you qualify for a new claim. You're probably going to have to call them if you have pending or missing weeks anyway. So just call them and first take care of the weeks where you weren't out of your claim year yet that have not been paid, and then say, hey, I'm also at the end of my benefit year. Do I have to reapply? And then hopefully they can just bypass the reapplying. Okay. And you guys, I've been on for an hour and a half. Blue-eyed females giving some good tips about times to call. And it's good to see you in the chat again, Blue-eyed female, because you've been out. I haven't seen you in a little while. Thank you for helping me moderate this. Thank you guys for helping each other. Oh, let's look at Tiger Jacks because he had a phone interview relating to PUA from last year that he got disqualified. Submit a retroactive PUA claims if I qualify. They said it might take 7 to 10 days. So it depends on when you first applied for your claim, how far they're going to let you go retroactive. If you applied recently, it's only going to let you backdate to December 1st. But if you applied before December 1st, I think they will still consider backdating all the way back to February of 2020. Oh, yeah, Crystal, I see that you're telling me that you got accepted for the extension because of back in November. So if you haven't verified your ID yet, you're going to have to clear that up before they can pay you, even if there's a balance on your claim. Basically, if your ID is expired and they asked you to verify ID, but you didn't, they put what's called a stop payment on your claim, and you won't be able to get paid until you sort that out. Li, you probably can't. Backdating is usually more for people on PUA, but you call and you tell them, you say, hey, how far back can I backdate my claim? Because I was actually out of work from this date, but I didn't realize that I was eligible for unemployment until, Crystal, don't be sending your information out. I'm going to write it down, but it's not safe. Don't be putting your personal emails on people's chats because there's some shady people. So if anybody reaches out to you today, Crystal, don't send them things. And you guys, I never send like weird WhatsApp numbers or anything. That's not me. Okay. All right, you guys. Yes, I appreciate all of you guys that are helping each other. That's so nice. Yes, I am going to do another live tomorrow at 6 p.m., but Blue-Eyed Female, do not feel obligated to pop into that. It's probably going to be a lot of the same questions about the benefit year ending, which I totally understand. I don't mind answering the same question twice. Oh, Crystal, you're saying you already gave them your new ID. So definitely call them. You're going to have to call them and make sure that the ID issue is cleared. Reach out to your assembly member, say, hey, they're saying they didn't get my ID, but I sent it on time. And other than that, that's all the tips I have. Unfortunately, I don't work at the EDD, so there's only so much in my wheelhouse that I can do. Fabio, thank you. Thank you again. All right. Okay, I got to get going, you guys. I know that there's still questions. And I'm sorry if I missed your question. I do go live tomorrow again at 6 p.m. And those ones tend to be a little less crowded. And yes, they should be on the phone. They should be on. Darn it, Crystal, I'm going to get back to you again in a second. They should be answering the phones today. I see that you can't go because you've got some restrictions right now. But if your ID is current, you're saying that you fixed that issue, so you shouldn't need to go anywhere anymore. Maybe they can send, if your ID is not current, maybe they can mail you a new one. But Unfortunately, the tools when there's a problem, even that I have, are 1, call the EDD, 2, use Ask EDD, 3, use the contact us on the EDD website, and then 4, reach out to your assembly person. And if you've already done all those things and none of that's helping, then the next step is to file that appeal. And please, please don't miss that 10-day turnaround. All right, you guys. So I'm gonna go. I see that there's a lot about disqualifications, but if you just back that up like about 5 minutes, that's where that answer is about the disqualifications. All right, I will see you guys tomorrow night.